Alright, well, we wanted to make this bonus episode called Getting to Where You Want to Be, Making It Happen, because we also feel like this is a topic that isn't really discussed, so we just wanted to emphasize a few important points. My story that I have for today is that as I wrap up my time in college, I've been thinking a lot about where I'm headed next. And while some people talk about the pressure of figuring it all out, I've come to realize it's not really pressure at all when I remember that this is my life and I get to determine what happens. No one else has to live it but me. That means the choices I make are in my hands. I don't need to have it all figured out. I just need to keep moving forward in the direction that feels right for me. And honestly, that's what makes it exciting, knowing that I get to create a life that's entirely my own. Over the past few years, I've been balancing school, academics, and work. From long hours on the track, staying up late doing schoolwork, or hours spent doing meaningful work like the Joy Project, I've stayed committed to building a life that reflects my values. Every decision I've made during this time has been on purpose. I've taken on opportunities that challenge me, push me, and help me grow, not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. What gives me peace is knowing that I'm making choices that align with the life that I want, one full of positivity, growth, and hard work. It might not make sense to everyone else, but that's okay, because I'm the one who wakes up every day and lives this life. I've learned that what matters most isn't other people's expectations, but it's my own vision for the future and the work that I'm willing to put in to get to where I want to be, because I want a life that feels right to me and not anyone else, and I know that that's worth working for. My parents have always taught me that hard work is the most important thing and will get you the farthest in life, and that lesson stuck with me, and I carry it with me in everything I do. It's why I stay focused when things get hard, why I keep showing up, and why I choose to grow even when it's uncomfortable. Whether it's pushing through a tough practice, saying yes to leadership roles, or stepping out of my comfort zone, I've learned that progress lives in showing up even when it feels uncomfortable. Now, with college ending, I feel like I have the whole world in front of me. There are so many paths I could take, and I get to choose which direction I go. And while that's overwhelming at times, it's also incredibly freeing. I know the kind of life I want to live, and I'm committed to putting in the work to get there, no matter how long it takes. I've worked hard to build a strong foundation, and now I get to build on top of it, one decision at a time. There's a quote by F. Scott Fitzgerald that has always stuck with me. It says, "For what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case, too early to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. Start whenever you want. You can change or stay the same. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best of it or the worst of it, and I hope you make the best of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people who have a different point of view. And I hope you live a life you're proud of, and if you're not, I hope you have the courage to start over again." That quote reminds me that life is ours to shape, but shaping it requires action. It requires effort, sacrifice, and belief in yourself when no one else sees the vision. And if at any point the life you're living doesn't feel right, you don't have to stay there. You have the power and the responsibility to change it, to start again, to build something better, and that's exactly what I plan to keep doing.
All right, let's talk about getting to where you want to be after college. Something that many of us start thinking about during senior year, also known as Plan A. It usually consists of where are we going to live, what we will do professionally, and how much time we'll get to spend doing the things we love, and maybe a few other things. Starting a new chapter of your life and adulting after college can be scary, and for good reasons. It can feel like there's much more weight and pressure put on you to figure things out. But it is worth noting that just because post-college life may seem scary doesn't mean you can't influence your path in a way that you want. Post-college life may feel entirely outside of your control, but that is not the case or the whole story. It is possible to have a say in how you get to experience life after college.
Yeah, it starts with understanding that the life you want won't just show up magically. You have to build it with continuous effort. And since no one will do everything for you, you must realize and accept that you must employ action and work hard towards the things you want, especially when you don't feel like it. You know the things that you need to do to get to where you want to be. Whether it's exercising for your mental well-being, applying for jobs, reading and learning more about a topic that you want to do professionally, even when your friends are doing something fun, volunteering to get that much-needed experience, or maybe it's sticking with the to-do list you made and saying no to a distraction, like your phone. These are some of the things we know we should do, but sometimes we don't feel like doing it because it seems like too much effort. Or we don't feel like doing it at that moment, so we put it off until next week. Or we think the life we want will simply just happen. It won't happen simply, though.
If you want your life to align more with your vision, there's one top life hack you need to adopt. And that is doing the things you know you need to do even when you don't feel like doing them. There will be days when you feel tired or you simply don't feel like doing something. The list is long of excuses that we can make for ourselves to avoid the work and to avoid doing things we know we need to do. You're gonna need to practice the act of doing something you know you should do anyways, even when you don't feel like doing it. You have a test next week and you know you need to study, get to studying. You want to get fit? Move today, not tomorrow. You want to change careers? Learn something new and start applying it. There is a theme with these examples, if you noticed. Everything is up to you to make it happen and not up to someone else, which means you will need to step up to the plate when you don't feel like putting in the effort and do it anyways. You have to know that you will not regret putting in the effort, but you will regret it if you don't when you know you should have been. So you have to remember, you get to decide what your future looks like if you want.
You have the power right now to work towards your goals and to make things happen. You have the power to shift your life and to get started on creating a life that you want to experience. Take a moment right now and ask yourself if you kind of want it or if you actually want it. If the idea of something sounds great, like a specific goal, but you don't want to put the effort in, then no worries, just move on. But if you actually want it, then you are going to need to work hard and do whatever it takes to get there. Now you can see how both of these options can lead to two completely different lives and outcomes. And the thing is, there is no right or wrong answer to these options, only the answer that you want to provide for your goals in your life.
Speaking of goals, we need to be accountable for where we end up, which, depending on how you view this, can be good or bad. I will say that it's easy to blame circumstances, other people, or even luck for where we are or aren't. Sometimes there are valid reasons for why things are the way they are, such as someone's upbringing. But the one true thing is that your future is your responsibility. Circumstances might not be your fault, but the progress towards your goals is your responsibility. And the moment you accept complete ownership of your future and are accountable for how things turn out, you will feel a sense of freedom because changing your life is all on you and not someone else. I would way rather have a say in what my future looks like and the changes that need to take place than leave it up to someone else to decide. The moment you understand that the choices you make today can determine the opportunities you have tomorrow is when you move from living life as a passenger to living life as the driver. And even while you can't control everything, you can control how you respond, how you adapt, and how you keep moving forward. In fact, here's a cool story on pressing onward towards goals and not giving up. So if you've ever watched Netflix, there was a show back in 2020. Actually, that's probably when everyone was watching Netflix because the pandemic. Mm-hmm. In 2020, there was a show that was released called The Queen's Gambit, which is about chess with a backstory. And within the first month of its release, around 62 million households tuned in to watch it, making it Netflix's most watched scripted limited series in Netflix history at the time, which is wild. The thing is, though, what many viewers didn't know was that Alan Scott, the writer and producer, spent 30 years putting this project together and rewrote it 9 different times and was rejected by numerous studios. When he approached them with this project at the time, many of the studios believed chess was not engaging enough to create a show worth watching. So think about the adversity Alan experienced and all the reasons he could have stopped this project. 30 years. 30 years of spending time on the same project, rewriting it 9 times, and being rejected by numerous studios. And despite all those things not going as planned, he kept going, he kept working on it, and kept moving forward. So take that story and use it as a reminder for getting to where you want to be.
Yeah, that's a great example of that. But outside of working hard and not giving up on your goals, there is something we need to make clear. It will not be easy to get to where you want to be. On this life journey, you will face resistance, fear, doubt, discomfort, struggles, and obstacles on the road toward where you want to be. And none of that sounds easy or fun. But that is the point, because the easy path is usually not the right path towards your goals and the life that you want to experience. These challenges happen to everyone, and the unfortunate part of this is that many allow these setbacks to stop the progress that they've made towards living the life they want to experience and the goals that they want to achieve. You don't have to be in this category, though. You can keep going and stay on the path regardless of whether it takes you longer to get to where you want to be, or if you have to take a detour, or you have to backtrack a bit. The important thing is to just keep moving forward towards what you want in your life. And in doing so, the momentum will pick back up, you will uncover more confidence, and you will get closer to where you want to be.
Okay, story time. So in terms of getting to where you want to be, I think we've mentioned goals a few times. So I'm going to mention a goal that I had 4 years ago. At the time, my wife and I were expecting our first child. And so I wanted to set myself up for success for what the whirlwind of parenting was going to basically encompass, because there's a lot of parents that told me that it was going to be difficult, especially in the beginning, in a lot of different ways. So what I had as a goal is the 2 things that frightened me the most was changing diapers and swaddling, which I'll cover here in a sec. So what I did is 2 months before our expected due date, I spent practicing diaper mock-ups. So I took a teddy bear and I placed the diaper. It's really silly actually, but it really worked. I took a teddy bear and then I put a diaper on it and practiced the motions of where the diaper needed to be, the wipes, where the trash can was going to be, like every single thing that would happen with this child, I was trying to replicate on a teddy bear because I had zero understanding of how to change a diaper. And that sounds silly, but 2 months of that, by the end of 2 months, I was like, I could have done it with my eyes closed.
You were good to go. I
was dialed. And so I did the same thing with swaddling, which for those that don't know swaddling, it's basically a cloth that you wrap the baby with like a little burrito. The baby turns into like a little burrito with the cloth. And so you like tuck their arms in, tuck their legs, and then you just wrap them up. So it keeps them warm, secure, and a bunch of other things. Anyways, I did the same thing with the teddy bear. I practiced a bunch of swaddling drills, different techniques, different cloths. And after 2 months, I was pretty dialed in. Here's how I know how it paid off, was because when our firstborn came into this world and we're in this room and our child is in this little carrier, and we've been up like 12 different times that night. So you're kind of a little tired, and the nurse comes in and the baby is screaming and all those sorts of things. And the nurse goes, "Hey, so this is the first diaper change. It's pretty nasty usually." The nurse is like, "Do you want me to show you how to change this diaper?" And keep in mind, we were up a lot of times that night, like every 30 minutes. And I said, "Don't worry, I've been practicing for 2 months." And I did it within like 20 seconds. wiped the right direction, did all these things, blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, wow. And I was like, well, that's 2 months of repetitions for you. I will tell you in that moment, even though I was like really tired and I barely could like open my eyes, I felt so good dominating that task that isn't seen as something cool necessarily, and not necessarily like a goal that's talked about a lot. But I think that's the cool part with goals is they can be whatever you want it to be. And I just wanted to set myself up, and I straight up dominated that task. And then afterwards I was like set up really well for at home, swaddling, diapers. Like I felt very confident, and none of that would have taken place without me practicing for like 2 months. And there was definitely times during that 2 months, don't get me wrong, where I was like, I don't really feel like getting the teddy bear and changing a fake diaper and swaddle. I did not, it wasn't like every day I felt like doing that, but I knew it was going to pay off. So I stuck with it, and it did pay off because I straight up dominated that, and I didn't need anyone's help. And it was like a sense of empowerment, especially knowing how to change a diaper very effectively, like my first time. So I think goals can be big, small, doesn't matter. They can be whatever you want them to be.
Yeah, I think that story does a good job emphasizing, like you said, it doesn't have to be a huge, crazy goal, but it can just be little things that you really put your time and effort into completing that goal and getting to where you want to be. All right, so putting in consistent effort over long periods of time towards your goals, dreams, and future will pay off. It's called the law of averages. And in this context, the law of averages means the more effort you put in, the more return will come your way. But the thing about the law of averages is that you don't know when the return is going to happen, which means you will have to be patient and keep putting in the effort on repeat. Not just effort for a few weeks or a month, but more likely months and years worth of effort. But here's the thing. Effort and hard work are what will get you closer to where you want to be, and it's that simple. And this process of working hard and putting in consistent effort towards your goals can be extremely rewarding and even fun. And let me put it another way for you. Putting in the effort, being patient, and not giving up is always 100% worth it. So, sure, your path may change and your goals may evolve, but quitting and giving up isn't the same as adapting. Things will pay off as long as you stick with it and keep putting in the effort.
All right, we have another short story to share, similar to the last one, not a personal one, but just a different story. So I want to talk about a Texas teen. So this person, and this has to do with our topic, getting to where you want to be. Think about this. This person in Texas was born in jail, abandoned by her mother, poor, raised by a single parent, and somehow graduated third in her class at high school and is now going to Harvard. Like, think about that. Born in a jail, but now is going to Harvard. This is a great example of how everyone has a different starting point, obstacles, abilities, and skills. But the one thing everyone has in common is the amount of effort and hard work that is possible to get to where someone wants to be. This person did not let their environment shape their life. This person put effort and action into working extremely hard to make things better, and in doing so was rewarded. So your past and environment does not fully dictate your future. It's the choices and effort you apply that decide where you will end up.
Yeah, what a great story to kind of show that it really doesn't matter if you're willing to put in the effort, stay up late, work hard, and it shows can complete amazing things if you really put your mind to it.
Absolutely.
A way to help with these efforts and create the life you want to experience is to surround yourself with the right people, whether you know them personally or just follow them online. These people are the ones who are putting in the effort and working towards their future, those who inspire you and remind you to keep going. Surround yourself with people who have similar values to you and extract as much insight and information from those people. It will help you on your journey towards creating the future you want and the life that you are most proud to live. Think about it. All it takes is one person to make a comment, help you out, or give you a different perspective on something that could totally change your life and for the better.
Getting to where you want to be is not easy, but it is possible. Not because the path is clear, but because you're capable of making things happen in your favor through action, through patience, and through grit. So the question isn't, can I get there? The question is, what am I willing to do starting today to make it happen? So start today, even if the step feels small. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because that moment is right now. Set your goals, embrace the challenges, and commit to the work. The life you want isn't somewhere far off. It's actually waiting for you. You just have to make it happen. So prioritize tasks and reduce the distractions that take you away from getting things done, aka use your time more effectively. We're given only one chance at this life game. And last I checked, you can't go back in time to change things you regret. So if you want to reduce future regret, start working towards the goals you want to achieve and the life you want to create. Don't just talk about them. Put in the work on a consistent basis. There is no need to wait for the right time, the right people, or the right circumstances to get to where you want to be. You have what it takes. Make it happen.